Hello, everybody, and happy Sunday. So we're kind of starting late and starting early at the same time.
Kind of weird.
I know, because we were supposed to be here at 5:30, and then I changed it to 6, and now it's 5:45.
It was my fault.
It was. Yeah. Busy day. Anyway, well, happy Sunday. Welcome to the podcast. And I'm Steve. Wow.
You're Steve. Wow.
You're Steve. I know. I'm Kate from Crate Insider, and you are Steve from Hendren Racing Engines. And great. So tell me, Steve, how was your week?
Really busy. Yeah, we had, it was wide open. I think I put basically an engine and a half together every day. So
That's
pretty busy.
That's working at a pretty good clip.
Yep.
Good deal. I was also busy.
Now, if, everybody will come pick them up, that'd be great.
Oh, okay. There's that. Kind of need that.
Right.
Yes, for sure. All right, let's say hi to some folks here. I see Scott is here from California. I see Tommy's here and Jeremy is here. Says, hey, y'all. Hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving. We did. Well, I did. I did.
I had a good time.
Yeah. I was at my family. I was at my brother's house and
Yep.
yeah. Oh, and Pippi knocked the camera. So there we go. So now it wasn't centered. That bugs me when it's not centered.
Better now?
Yeah, I think so. I think it works. Yes, I think it works for sure. Great. Oh, and Brian is here from Race Logic. He says, hello, Race Logic crate class is sold out and there's very few seats left in the street stock class. Yeah, looking forward to that. You know, if you're new to the show, we do talk about all of our January schedule that's coming up here because there's a whole lot going on. Yeah, and in fact, if you haven't already and you want to come to or you haven't registered yet or gotten your tickets, the Cars Racing Show is happening January 7th and 8th in Hickory, North Carolina. And this is the last couple of days for free tickets before we start doing the discounted tickets. Right. Yep. So you can do free tickets through December 6th. And then starting on December 7th, we'll do $10 in advance. Otherwise, it'll be $15 at the door. And I'm really excited. I mean,
it's the show I'd go to.
Yeah, this show is really shaping up to be one heck of a show for sure. Yep. We get lots of great exhibitors putting our seminars together. Do you know, I'm going to give a little shout out here to Pit Weld U. They're a welding school down in the Charlotte area. Mm-hmm. In fact, I'm going to have to take some classes because I've always wanted to learn to weld, but I don't actually want to do anything production. I just want to do artsy stuff. And they have, they do, full on degree welding, like getting a degree, like what Alex has, what your son has. Yep. They also do welding classes for if you're someone who, weekend warrior, race car drivers, you just want to learn how to weld. You don't need the certifications, but they also have artsy workshops for like 1 or 2 day workshops. So I'm going to have to sign up, but they're going to do some demonstrations in their booth. But, here's the big thing though, is that they will be raffling off a welder at the show.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, and it's only at the show. This isn't one of those deals where they collect, names and do this in whatever for, 6 months beforehand, or they're going to draw for it 6 months out. No, they're going to draw for it at the show. And I'll tell more. Badass. I'll have more details on that. I'm really excited about those. Yeah. I mean, that I will be putting my name in that hat for sure. Yes.
What if you win?
Well, then I win.
You're not even going to be like, oh, I've got no shame.
I have no shame.
I won this shit.
If I win a welder, I win a welder. Right, yeah. I mean, I don't want any cheating involved for sure. No. But, there's no but. I want no cheating involved. If by luck of the draw, I happened to win, that would be amazing. Yes.
Yeah, I see how it is.
I'm just saying. I don't know. I should probably bow out, but dang it would be so cool to get a welder.
Yeah, you could bow out and give it to somebody else.
I could.
If you want.
I could just share it.
Because it's random. I mean, you
it
might
is
not
random.
Even win, so.
Well, right. Yeah, I know. I can see your conflict of interest situation about if I were to win, but yeah, I mean, I'm a person too. I mean, I happen to be a trade show organizer.
Are you?
Happen to be.
I thought you were a machine.
I may as well be. I'm working on it. I'm telling you, I'm working on it. I mean, I started with the robot eyes. So for anybody who doesn't know, I got lens replacement surgery last year. We call them my robot eyes. Yeah. So I got my robot eyes and I've been doing some training here recently to try to be more machine-like and like just more productive, get more stuff done. I know, me.
You're a fucking robot. Just saying.
Anyways. I will take that as a compliment. That is a compliment today, right. For sure. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. There we go. Oh, and let's see. Jim is here. Alan says, "Are we going to PRI?" I am not going to PRI this year.
I'm not either. No, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I support their show. They my show is not a replacement for that show at all. It's totally different deals, things. But there was just so much uncertainty in the world. I just wasn't really sure. I mean, a lot of the manufacturers that I go there to see weren't having booths this year.
Yeah, I mean, that's the same thing for me. I mean, like, ultimately, I don't know. I love PRI. I like going there. I told her this years ago, like most business deals are like done at the bar.
I've yet to see that happen.
After the show. She has yet to see that happen. I have. I've made deals at the bar, but like
not at PRI. It's really hard to get business done there. But I've made plenty of deals.
It's hard to get business done at the show.
No, it's just hard to get business done. Period.
Well, I mean, you got so many sticker collectors running around like collecting stickers and like interrupting your conversation with somebody you really need to talk to.
Well, and that's just it.
I mean, again, nothing against PRI. I mean,
no, but I've asked them for
and
years.
We'll probably go next year.
Oh yeah, we'll go next year.
But like this year, it's like, let's just take a break.
Yeah. I mean, I love PRI and I love the business I'm in, but the one downside is that we go to PRI, you come back, and it's our Christmas party. It's Christmas. I have all the videos to edit from PRI and all the deals.
We lose the whole month.
You lose the whole month, and really, I mean, I would used to be like Martha Stewart when it came to like Christmas.
Yeah,
and I've really had to give that up the last several years.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, PRI to me is a good time. You go there, like meet with the people you've done business with for years. But like when they don't go there, there's no reason for me to go there.
Right.
And there's a lot of companies that I deal with who are not going there.
Yeah. And a lot of them that are going to be at our show.
Correct.
So we'll get to see them. We'll get to see them down here in North Carolina. So, again, not competition. It's an entirely different deal. Totally different deal. But we do have a lot of great things going on.
You can buy stuff at your show.
Yeah.
Whereas at PRI, if you try to buy something out of a booth at PRI and they sell it to you, technically they can never go back to PRI. So,
well, yeah, it's a violation of the rules.
It's a violation of the rules.
Yeah, so it's like you're doing drug deals in the hallways, kind of thing. So no drug deals at our show. Just straight up, like, here you go, buy the thing, go put it on your race car.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Here's your show deal.
Exactly. And we will be doing that. We will be doing show deals. Oh, definitely have some comments about the welder. So Jeremy thinks that I will be she says she will be running the welder off of her dryer plug.
Probably. Yes.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, hey, multi-versatile. And Patrick says, been a welder for 30 plus years. You can learn a lot you can learn from watching a few good videos and lots of practice. Hey, you know what? That's how I ran a website. This is how I run $1 million company. It's YouTube videos and yeah, exactly. And Glenn says happy holidays. Great. Well, guess I have actually some questions.
Okay.
Today.
Cool. Yep.
And before
I'm all about the questions. So
we're all about the questions. So please drop in any questions that you guys have.
And I always enjoy it. Even if I can't answer a question,
I'm
gonna hopefully like guide you in a place where you can get the question answered.
Hey, you know what? I don't always have the answer, but I generally know who does.
Exactly.
It's really what my deal is. All right. So Tommy says, I have a 604 with fast track seals. Mm-hmm. What would be involved in getting Crate Racing USA seals installed on the engine? Would I have to have it built again?
The first thing I would do is like determine whose seals are on it. So like those seals will be on their website. So the number of those seals is going to be like tied to whatever engine builder did it. For instance, if it was me, like you've got one of my engines from, 2013, which is the last time I think I built a fast track motor. And then I am like also tied with Crate Racing USA and tied with Rush. If I could determine that those seals were not gotten into, then yeah, I would be happy to seal your engine with Crate USA or Rush seals.
Yeah, so check whichever engine builder did it in the first place,
and it's on their it's on their website, or it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because not a lot of people are doing fast track stuff anymore, so I don't really know what their thing is. Honestly, I haven't been on the website in like probably 4 years.
Yeah. Well, and if it was your engine originally and you know who the engine builder was,
right,
that would be who to call. I think the only caveat to that is, if it was a fast track engine that you did in the last couple of years, sure, get it resealed with Crate Racing USA. But if it's a little bit older than that, and it's got lots of races on it, maybe it's time to take a look.
Well, yeah, let's say that you bring it to me and it was fast track sealed for somebody, whoever that may be. Because I don't know, I think there's like 2 engine builders for fast track now. But like, if that happened, then no, I'd have to take it all the way apart. I would have to tech it, and then I'd have to put it back together again. So that would be, you're probably talking $2,000, $2,200, something like that to do that.
All I was saying was
if we did no machine work to it, or
all I was saying is that if it's an older engine, you may want to go ahead and get it freshened anyway.
Well, no, absolutely.
And then you could go anywhere that's a Crate Racing USA.
Honestly, most fast track engines are going to be older engines. So
that's why I would ask that question. Great. Next up, let's see. And I see Lindsay is here, and Ken. And and he got his parts. That's awesome. All right. Jeremy is here. He says, if I switch from 93 to C85, what all do I need to upgrade on my car to keep from having issues with the fuel breaking down the fuel lines and or engine issues? I'm running a 602.
Number one.
Is that C85?
C85
is that a thing?
It's a version of E85.
Okay. All right, great.
All right. So E85, yeah. Or C85, E85. C85 is like more oxygenated than like E85. So number one, yeah, so long as you're like running number 10 from the cell to the pump.
Number 10 hose?
Hose, yeah.
Okay.
You should be okay. I would, let's see.
What all does he need to do to upgrade on his car to make sure he doesn't have any issues?
You need to run a bypass system, for sure, on any E85 variant. You need to like run a bypass system, so I would certainly do that. Other than that, the carburetor is like the main thing. Yeah, let's see. Fuel line's not like a big issue with the E85 versus gas. So yeah, I think you'll be all right with probably what you've got, so long as it's like number 10 from the cell to the pump. But yeah, the main thing with like going from that kind of fuel to E85 is going to be like a bypass system, in my opinion.
Great. Great. And it's, I think the other thing too is you have to make sure you've got an E85 carburetor. If that's kind of going, I don't know that that's obvious.
Well, I don't know if it's obvious. Yeah,
In concept, hey, I'd like to switch fuels. What all do I need to do?
Yeah, it's not a jet change.
Number one, you need a new carburetor. Number two, you need to make sure that you've got a bypass regulator system.
You don't necessarily need a new carburetor.
Because,
let's go with the Rush series. Let's go with the Rush series up north. So this year they're allowing E85. So I've got like a bunch of my customers up there that my brother builds carburetors for, where they're sending the carburetors back and we're converting them.
That's right. So whether it's new or converted.
Correct.
So it's going to be carburetor. It's going to be running a bypass regulator fuel line and running number 10 lines back to your fuel tank.
Correct. Or number 8's good back to the tank.
Oh, okay.
Like from the tank to the pump is 10.
Okay.
And then
back
and be 8. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, this is a really great topic. I actually got a text message earlier this week, and the person asked, what's the best way to put up the X85 fuel system in a street stock for the winter?
Number one, don't let it dry out. So empty everything.
Okay.
The primary problem with E85, which
X85,
you're talking about X85, which is the VP variant.
Yeah. Don't say the word variant on this show. We need a list of banned words.
Variants, one of them. All right, so the only problem with E85/X85 or R85 or whatever the hell else anybody
version
calls their E85.
Yeah.
Is when it dries out. So when it dries out, just like liquor, I mean, spill some rum on the floor and see what happens. Leave it there to dry out. It gets sticky and gooey and nasty. And that's what happens with E85. So the main thing is don't let it dry out.
Okay, so how do you go about that? Is this like alcohol or methanol where you're going to pour pump gas through the carburetor to clear?
Correct. Yeah, that's what I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there really much of anything else?
No. I mean, just don't let it dry out in the system. If it doesn't dry out in the system, you're fine. So what I would do personally, if it was me, is like, if you're running E85 of whatever variant of E85 version of E85, then what I would do is number one, drain the entire system.
Okay.
Then I would, the lines, I'd probably I don't know if you got like an old piece of shit Holley carburetor, put it on there and run pump gas through it. Honestly, that'd be the quickest way to, make sure everything was all right. But other than that, I mean, I'd drain all the lines, blow everything dry, because you want to dry it. You don't want to sit there for 3 months drying.
Okay, that's where I was getting a little bit confused.
Yeah.
So you want to clean it, air dry
Correct.
it. You
Yes,
just don't
correct.
You don't want
You don't want it to dry out by itself
and have
That's
all
what
of the
I mean.
E85
Exactly.
residue all built up.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that'll prevent all the problems.
Like a spilled pie in the oven, it gets
Correct.
baked on. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah. I went full Martha Stewart on that.
No clue what the fuck you're talking about there.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's
Spilled
right.
pie in the oven? I've never baked a pie, so I don't even know.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Yeah. All right. New question. Jeff is here. He says a motor supplier told me he puts 604 bearings in the 602 and it cures the issue. Is this true, or am I correct to assume he is full of shit?
You are correct to assume he's full of shit. So yeah, that's not correct. The problem with the 602 stuff. All right. So we've had basically 7 or 8 602s apart here in the last week and a half. And the problem with 602 is not the bearing, it's the clearance issues. And the clearance issue is directly related to the rod bearing, or the big end of the rod, where we've seen bearing clearances as tight as you get less than a half thousandths clearance on the bearing. So in other words, the small end of the rod's small, way too small. And no, so
yeah,
no, that does not solve that, unfortunately.
Good to know. Okay, Patrick has a question. He says, running a Crate 602 with an HP 650 on a half-mile dirt track, what thickness spacer do you recommend?
With a 650, I would. You mean a bitch?
I am. It's the answer.
So
oh my gosh. That reminds me of Saturday Night Live with the Californians. Back when, Saturday Night Live has moments.
I see how you are. You're all being all.
I'm just teasing you.
Tonight.
I'm not bitchy. I'm teasing you.
I got you.
It's been fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At any rate.
Carb spacer 602.
At any rate, the one with the 650, the one I found to be the most effective is the HVH spacer with the center divider.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the part number off the top of my head.
I don't either, but it's the one where we call it the 1-inch spacer for dual plane intake.
Now, if we go down to some of the stuff that my brother's doing right now, where we're using 600 center sections, billet center sections.
Mm-hmm. Are you doing 4-hole?
Yeah, the 4-hole.
Gotcha.
So yeah, with 650, I would use that one with center divider. The stuff we're doing, I would use the 4-hole.
Mm-hmm. Great. And Ken's got a great recommendation here. He says call David Smith.
Absolutely, David Smith's freaking badass.
Yeah, we love David Smith.
I love him to death. And he's
Carb builder.
One of the
Smith
three
carburetors.
people that I recommend, or 4 people, I guess my brother would probably be number 1. But I mean, other than that, I mean, yeah, David's one of the 3 other people I recommend for carburetor.
Sure.
And you cannot go wrong with David.
No.
I mean, you buy it, you bolt it on, you go race. So, absolute badass.
Absolutely. Great. Jeremy, he's the one making the switch from 93 over to C85. And he says, should I see a big timing change switching to the C85 fuel?
Depends on the carburetor. Back to carburetors, on how rich it is. From pump gas to C85, you can see as much as 4 to 6 degrees timing change, just depending on what carburetor you're using and what the air fuel ratio is. I mean, most of our stuff that we're doing, of course, C85 is illegal. Everything that we do around here.
Oh, is
now
it?
C85 is usually legal, like up in Indiana.
Okay.
That up in that area.
But it's a version of E85, but it's using different.
It's got more oxygenated.
Okay, then the X85 does. Okay.
So like something like that, I mean, we'll see like on a 602 or 604, we'll see 37 to 40 degrees. Honestly, well, depending on how rich the bottom end is.
Wouldn't you agree that the important thing here is to, if you're going to change the timing that much, is to probably do it when you're on a dyno?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Would you try to do it without being on a dyno?
I'm going to say 36 is safe.
Okay.
But I would not want to go above that without being on a chassis dyno, engine dyno, something like that.
Great.
With your exact combination. So, which is why I prefer chassis dyno.
Great. Oh, Chris Peavy is here. He says it's a 2AL. So yes, it's a 2AL for that carb spacer that we're talking about. And Chris, so PV Motorsports will be one of the vendors at the show. So awesome. Excited to have them exhibiting. Next up is David says, what 604 spacer do you recommend? 1-inch or 5/8 open versus 4-hole?
I recommend the 5/8
4-hole.
Because it produces the same exact top end power as what the 1-inch does, but it produces about 3 to 4 more foot-pounds of torque on the bottom end. Yeah. So if you need that, run that. Yeah, if you got one of them drivers that can't tell, 3 to 4 foot-pounds of torque, which is like 99% of them, then run the 1-inch. If you own it, it's not going to make the difference between winning and losing a race, is what I'm getting at.
The only difference is it depends on your rules. So if your rules say that you have to run an open spacer, then you have to run an open spacer. Well, there's that. Yeah,
IMCI, I think, says that. Yeah, it has to be like a couple different part numbers.
Well, and since, Steve, that you mentioned, that, hey, there are 4 carburetor builders that you recommend, the question from John is, so what carburetors do you recommend?
It's going to be my brother.
Mike Hendren.
It's going to be David Smith. It's going to be Willie's. And it's going to be Tony Stell. Or Tony. I can never remember his freaking last name.
Tony at Stell.
If you can get a hold of him, Tony at Stell.
Great. Those are some great questions. Great questions. Something else, this is just more of a comment, and that isn't really answering a question, but I do want to, we had a great comment on one of our videos here recently, because we've been shooting them in my living room instead of being outside, or I don't know if this is my living room. I don't know. This is the room this is where I live here. And so because it's dark, because we can't go outside right now because it's dark, or we can't just shoot in like natural light.
Pretty fucking dark.
It is. And you didn't necessarily love my light shining in your eyes, but we did get a YouTube comment where somebody said, hey, notice your podcast is getting really dark. Like, did you forget to pay the electric bill? So no, I didn't. We just didn't have the lights set up. So we're trying today. We're trying to not be as dark today. Yeah. Otherwise, you get mad if it's too bright.
With like the fog in the background.
Well, I wanted to make you feel at home, like in the California.
Exactly.
Yeah. Here's our fake California background.
Here's our redwood forest. It's like all funny.
It is kind of funny. Look at the tree that's just like sticking straight up in between us. It just kind of looks almost like that's pretty funny, actually.
Right. Gotcha.
I don't know. Just looks funny. All right, more questions. So John says he's the one that asked about the carburetors you liked. He said, so you don't like a Braswell?
On a crate motor, no, I do not. Honestly, I think a Braswell is a piece of crap on a crate motor. When it comes to open engine stuff, yeah, they're badass. I mean, Braswell makes a really good carburetor.
Well, you ran Braswells for years.
I ran Braswells for years on when I raced Super Late models. I mean, they're great carburetor. I mean, Braswell and Willie was the two I went between. But as far as like crate carburetor, no. Honestly, and I hate to say this because I love them to death, they don't know what they're doing.
Well, it is challenging when you get into a low horsepower application. You have to be pretty specialized in that, and it can be a challenge. Like, you know, you want to start changing stuff and improving things, and you kind of have what you have.
Correct.
It can be a frustration. All right, next question. BA Schoenfeld versus Profab on a 604. Horsepower gain for money.
No comparison. Profab 1000%. This is like one of those things where, I mean, do I really want to go on record like bashing anybody? No, not at all. But I'm just telling you that Profab 1000% is the better product. My second choice would be BA. Third choice would be Schoenfeld.
Well, and I happen to be a dealer for all three. So there's a different application for each different thing. But I know that you've tested these. You've been involved in a lot of the development as well, too.
I was involved in a lot of the development of, actually, honestly, my dad was involved in my dad passed away in 2011. So like the BA 604 stuff, my dad was involved with the development of that. So that tells you how old that technology is. And the Profab stuff is like more current with me and my brother.
Right. Yeah.
So
a lot of work on the dyno for sure. And then they made
we've got hours and hours
days
with Profab coming down to my shop, and this was like top secret. Frickin', we're testing, we're doing some shit.
And then all the track testing as well. So it's been really.
And
really
honestly, before Profab, it was Dynatech. But unfortunately, like the powers that be at Dynatech decided, like, oh, we're no longer making crate racing headers.
No, we're not making mild steel headers.
Mild steel, or stainless.
Well, no, they were. Too, right? Well, no, they were going to continue making stainless, but I knew at that point, if all you're going to do is just the stainless, we're not going to get the development. Yeah. And then
whoever the rocket scientist was at AFCO / Dynatech decided not to build headers, which is why we went with Profab. And you know what Profab did? They actually freaking listened to us, and we built the header they have today. And you know what? They're dominating every racing series in the country. So there you go.
All right,
my little rant.
Okay. What are you drinking there, Steve?
I'm drinking whatever that.
We're having Bloody Marys.
All right, Bloody Mary.
Bloody Marys. Because why? Because it's Sunday morning somewhere. Actually, I don't know. It's probably more like on to Monday morning at this point.
There's like potentially a hangover somewhere, so we're drinking these.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right. Let's see. James says, what kind of difference would it be to switch from a 14-pound flywheel and 14-pound clutch setup to a Brim-style transmission in a 602 crate?
Oh, absolutely massive. We're talking like 28 pounds worth of shit off the back of your damn motor versus 602. So it's going to be 6-pound flywheel, 5-pound flywheel.
That Bert?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the little one.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the counterweight on it?
Yeah, that'd be my guesstimate.
So,
5-6 pounds.
Yeah, steel.
Certainly, it's certainly not 14 pounds.
Oh my God, that'd be massive. Yeah, 100%. Like total massive gain.
Good to know. Oh, Tom is here from California. He goes, hi guys. Hope for 2-barrel info someday. Going to Hawaii this week and 80-degree weather. Yeah, we need more 2-barrel information. I need an air filter base for 2-barrel carburetors that works. That's what I need.
We need more Hawaii information. So when he goes out there and like goes to Hawaii, if he'll send that, we'll like figure out the 2-barrel information.
Oh, wow, you extortionist.
Well, no, here's the whole thing. Like go to Hawaii with that whole super humid shit, put 2 straws up your nose and breathe through it, and there's your 2-barrel information. You know why?
No, I don't know why.
Because two barrels suck. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
You didn't get it.
Well,
it went straight over the fucking.
No, I mean, it didn't matter because if your rules say you have to run a 2-barrel carburetor, it's not about you.
Suck.
It's not about you. It's about what your rules say and complying with your rules.
Right.
So if that's what your rules are, you're going to try to do the best damn job you can with what you got to deal with. And nobody's really serving that market, and that sucks. I'd like for us to do a better job. And I'm the one who can't weld, so it's not me. When I say we, I really don't mean I don't mean really my part.
2 barrels should not be on V8s. Just my opinion. Bottom line.
Well, you're not the one making the rules.
Yeah. Well,
all right.
If I was, their rules wouldn't suck. Put it that way.
Well, to you, why do you say that the 2-barrel sucks for a crate application?
It's stupid. I mean, good God. I mean, the thing's already down on power enough. What, you need to kill them more? Makes no sense.
Okay. All right. Patrick, okay. Go ahead.
Before I go, if you want good rules, okay? If you want to emulate or copy some rules that are freaking badass, go to Crate Racing USA Street Stock Rules. You got an open motor with a freaking 2-barrel. You got a crate motor with a 4-barrel. Copy those rules. It's proven time and time again to be the best rule package of a street stock anywhere in the country. So go with that. Why are you going to limit everything to a freaking 2-barrel? Stupid.
Okay. Well, I think in some series, it's to try to have what is the differentiating part between a 604 and a 602. I mean, my guess, I don't know this for sure, but look at what we've seen in some of the 602 series where guys who really should be in a 604, who really have the seat time and the competitiveness, will cherry pick and go down to a 602 if you make it so it's not as fun.
All right, so
if you want to give everything you have to give, you go to a 604.
All right, and all these rules, the 604 is not even a factor. So eliminate that. It's always 602 versus open motor.
Well, but you have to look at how the rules are different between the 602 division versus the 604 division. I don't know of a 602 series.
What are you even talking about? The only 602 versus 604 division is late models. Street stocks, there's no such thing as a 604.
A mods, B mods.
Oh, I don't give a shit about freaking.
It doesn't matter if you give a shit about it or not. That is the reality. So 604s is the pinnacle of whatever rules package. And then
I still have no idea what you're
literally
talking about.
A mods, and then there's B mods.
I still have no idea what you're talking about. Because
4-barrel, 2-barrel.
Who's running
604, 602.
Who's running a fucking 4-barrel?
What?
Who's running a 4-barrel?
The 604s.
Okay, right. Who's running a 2-barrel? Versus open motor.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, 602.
It's always 602 4-barrel versus.
No, it is not always. No, it is not always. A lot of times there's 602s as well as the open motors running 2-barrels in a not the premier, but in the B version of a division.
And what are we arguing about here?
Well, you're just telling me it's one series in the whole world.
I'm literally sitting here saying that primarily you're dealing with 602s on a 4-barrel and then open motors on a 2-barrel. That's the most common thing. And I'm saying, go look at the freaking Crate Racing USA rules and pattern your rules around that shit, and you'll have fair racing.
Okay, that is not what we're saying here at all. Here, at the end of the day...
Oh my God!
No.
I have no
at the
idea.
end of the day, we have racers out there whose best choice that they have available to them in what they're racing with their 602 is to have a 2-barrel carburetor. That is the best, without moving to a different division, that is the best that they can do. How can we help them be the most successful?
Where's that?
Well, you got to go west of the Mississippi, and there's a whole bunch of other racers that are outside of the 3-hour radius here.
What? So
you are really ingrained in the South, Steve, and there are a lot of racers west of the Mississippi that we could help with 2-barrel stuff. Texas, all of Texas, and anything west of the Mississippi. There's a lot of 2-barrel stuff out there.
Go build a fucking 2-barrel on it. Go race. There's my advice. You know what? The assholes that go and buy these freaking $500 and $1,000 freaking 2-barrel carburetors, screw that. Go buy your 4412. Go out there and race. Because we tested that shit time and time again back in the day here when there was 2-barrel rules on open motors.
Okay.
So I don't even know where you're coming from. Honestly, you're like trying to like do some, we need to like have more 2-barrel shit. No, you don't. Fucking go bolt that bitch on and go race. I mean, fuck.
Well,
I mean, where'd that even come from?
Well, because you're like 2-barrels are stupid. You know what we got?
Well, they are stupid. That's like the stupidest rule in the history of the world. But like, if you got a
well, you know what? Driving 55 might be a stupid rule too, but it is the rules we have to deal with, right?
Well, no, I mean, most places are like 70 nowadays. So.
See, if you just have to like, well, most places are whatever. No, just like you've got rules that you have to deal with. How can we help? What do we do? What do we do on a daily basis? We try to help racers maximize what they have to deal with.
Correct.
And you're just going to tell racers, oh, you got a 2-barrel? Your fucking rules are stupid.
Well, they are stupid.
And I'm not going to help you.
No, that's not that.
Because I think your rules are stupid, so I'm not going to help you.
I just gave my best piece of advice. Go get a fucking 4412 from fucking Advanced Auto Parts, put it on the goddamn fucking engine, go race it. You know why? Because all these fuckers that are ripping people off on 2-barrels are a bunch of fucking assholes.
Well, then, there you go.
So there you go.
But there's other things.
I just gave my best advice.
Okay, there you go.
I gotta go smoke, or I'm gonna freaking, I don't know.
Okay.
Go mental.
Apparently you are going mental. You are going mental. My God, I am not that difficult to understand.
Good God. You are.
Patrick says anti-reversion mufflers, are they worth the money? He designed them. He's going to.
I designed them 1,000%. Yes.
Okay, I think we can slow down on the F-bombs.
Right.
Then we slow that down. Yes, they do give better horsepower and torque numbers, and racers definitely notice the difference when they're on the track. Primarily torque, yes.
Especially on open engines.
Okay. I'm afraid to ask some of these other questions here. And okay, I will make some of the comments though.
Go ahead.
And Tom says you got it. You got it. I will send pics, Kate, for the Hawaii trip.
Okay.
All right. Bubba says, are you guys married? Thank Christ we are not. No, we are not married. We are not married. No. And Jeff says, turmoil in paradise, LOL. No, this is just nothing but a spirited discussion.
This is us talking business on like a normal Monday.
This is us. The trying to figure out what language people are saying. And Steve's default answer is, that's really fucking stupid. And I'm like, it doesn't matter if it's something is stupid or not. It is a question I'm trying to answer.
Wait, what's my default answer? Like a trivia when we play on trivia?
Well, your default answer here is, and your default answer at trivia is like, hey, who sang the 1956 hit that was on the top of the Billboard charts in November? Shit, fuck. It's normally his answer. That's his answer. His default answer here on every single question is, and like he already knows the answer. He's just stalling for more time. There you go. All right. Seth says, hate to tell you, but not all 2-barrel carbs are created equal. And the majority on or asphalt circle track stuff that runs a 602 runs a 2-barrel. It's a fast rising class. Seth, 100%. Thank you. Perhaps he'll listen to somebody other than me and understand that there are a lot of racers out there who would love some great advice and some of the accessories to go with it. What we found is like our air filter base, our flat air filter base isn't the most effective with a 2-barrel carburetor. I would really love to have a better solution for that. It's really what I would. And Nolan says, I think that the rules for crate motors should be changed to allow motor to be 20 over on a rebuild because of the shortage of motors. No. And Steve says no.
No, because GM does not make a piston for that.
GM does not make a piston for that. Is the big one. I've got a fuel question when you get back. Yep. Then you can sit down. And John's like, it's okay. We don't mind. Speak your mind.
What am I not?
And Mike's like rolling the floor laughing over a 2-barrel.
Let's all run Rochesters.
Rochesters. All right. I've got a couple other questions. Once you get back from your smoky time, he's just right here, but yeah, I don't have a microphone. I'm not sure how the microphone's going to do. It'll sort of pick it up. All right. So one question we missed while you were off on your little smoke vacation there.
My smoke not kill you thing.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I just don't want it in my house.
Right.
Curly working and getting this.
Right. I mean, I'm like literally out there.
It's all good. It's all good. All right. Matt asks, what fuel would you recommend for a 602, 91 or VP 105? And what are your thoughts on mixing?
I would recommend. Are we gonna fight?
I'm not fighting. I was just teasing you because you went to your default answer.
What?
Your default answer of,
Well, I mean, it took me a second to think about it.
Yeah, it's all good. It's fine. What you got?
I'm not going to answer.
Okay. Well, I could answer, and then he'll just tell me I'm wrong.
Go ahead. Let's hear what your answer is. We'll go from there. Is it the girl that sells race car parts, or the guy that builds motors? Your answer is what?
I don't sell fuel. I sell carburetors. I sell bypass regulators. I don't sell fuel.
You'll make more power on 91. 105, like buying them by the barrel, is going to be more consistent. The 105, in my opinion, you're going to be probably ultimately better off with.
All right.
And mixing, absolutely do not mix. My problem mixing fuels is you're never going to get it the same way twice, especially with pump gas. Like if you're buying pump out of a 91 out of a pump, what's the water content? What's the ethanol content? It's going to change every week. Yeah, 105, you're going to be way more consistent.
I mean, I definitely have seen that there's a lot of people out there want to do, because when I sell carburetors, I always ask for the fuel to make sure carburetors are set up properly. And it's very popular to do the pump gas 110 mix.
No, it is, yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's not something I would do.
Yeah, so the VP 105 will kind of take care of that?
Correct.
Okay, yes. Great. All right, we got a serious question. That's what it says. Serious question from Bubba. Are Profab headers worth the money over other brands like BA, Dynatech, Schoenfeld? Steve, can you give some examples of dyno numbers difference based on different brand headers? I'm just going to first of all say that there's a reason I don't publish this on my website, and I don't do that because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. However, you've been there for dyno testing, so have I. And I know we know numbers, but it's all relative.
All right. So if we're comparing, all right. So let me go back to when we first started working with Profab. At the time, the best header we ever dynoed was a Dynatech, which we helped them design actually. Mm-hmm. And we got kickbacks on me and my brother back in the day. Because we ultimately designed a great header. So the Dynatechs versus the BAs, we were up several foot-pounds of torque on the bottom end, and top end power is pretty much the same. So if you're running around a racetrack, let's say Pittsburgh, for instance, if you're running PPMS and you're running around wide open, you're never lifting. Honestly, horsepower wise, between all these different headers, there's not much of a difference. If you're going to go to Cherokee, South Carolina, and go race, at that time you better have been on some Dynatechs. Nowadays, with the Profab stuff, and I hate to I'm not throwing nobody under the bus, but Doug's stuff is really old. It's old technology. Probably back 14, 15 years ago. But the Profab stuff now that we're doing, I've had customers literally at the racetrack take off their other brand of header, put on Profabs, and go out on the racetrack and go, oh my God, this is the greatest thing I've ever felt. So dyno numbers show you one thing, which dyno numbers, like we do chassis dyno. So like the chassis dyno numbers show us that the profabs are the best thing on the market, bar none. So you go to like people on the racetrack, and the racetrack, like results show the same, and driver feedback. I'll use, which I hate to throw him out here, but I'm going to use Matt Henderson as an example. So Matt he was sponsored by a header manufacturer. And once I got him to switch to the profabs, he was like, oh man, this shit's night and day. And he went like 20 grand. So, I mean, that's basically our experience with headers.
Yeah.
We can't hear you.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You making more drinks?
I'm making another drink. I brought you a drink.
Oh, you did too. Yeah.
I did.
So what are you doing? Hurry up. Run.
I'm hurrying.
I have no idea how to use the computer, so I'm like waiting on her ass to get back.
Oh, it's okay.
Because we're gonna argue over 2 barrels more apparently here.
No, I got something else for us to argue about now.
Oh shit.
No, I just reminded. I've actually had this for a little while. So, okay. I mean, I know you're finishing your Bloody Mary, but I was like, ooh, your Bloody Mary's almost gone. You're gonna want another beverage. So I reached into the beer fridge and I gave you a Heineken, which reminded me that I got this. I have the girly subscription boxes. FabFitFun, and they sent that. So here's a little gift for you. What does it say?
0.0% alcohol, 100% taste.
In a Heineken. Now you can. Hashtag now you can. So I guess got you a little baby can of non-alcoholic Heineken. Now we can taste test them and see if they're the same or not. I know. It's just ridiculous. I didn't actually plan this.
2 barrel. 4 barrel. Just saying.
Wow. You have to try it though and see if it's a thing.
Right.
See if it's a thing. Absolutely. All right. And let's see. Here's a question. Jeff says, how important is consistency in, he says, read vapor pressure of race fuel? I'm not sure what that, are you familiar with that metric?
Yeah.
What is it? Is it read vapor pressure?
He's like trying to stump me here. So what it is going to be, so the vapor pressure, the read vapor.
Is this like when you and I have talked before about how, so CHP could go into vapor lock because of the vapors at the temperature kind of deal?
No, I don't know. Just being kind of a dick because you're like trying to stump me here on read vapor pressure. I'm not a fuel expert, so I can't tell you. Mm-hmm. I would refer to somebody like, I don't know, VP.
VP is a lot of great information on their website as well.
They got a lot of great information.
I mean, I've learned some things from their website about just, how is octane determined?
Yeah.
That is something that I read about. I mean, it's been a few years ago.
Well, you got engine octane, everything else, but
right. Right. There's different octanes, and we tend to think about this as like it's just this set in stone kind of thing.
Correct.
But it's really not. Yeah. It's really interesting in this whole lubrication portion, like any of the oil business. A lot of these numbers that we use are determined by like 1850s technology, like 1850s machines. For instance, the weight of oils and
the weight of oil thing is like
weight of oil is one, and then octane of fuel is another one because there's 2 different metrics.
We've had that whole conversation with Buck on
certainly
as far as like viscosity and everything goes.
Absolutely, and it's just really interesting. And I first read about the octane piece over on BP's website, and so hopefully that's still on there. The kind of frequently asked questions. It's really good information. Here's a good question right here. Rick says, what is the proper way to mount your engine in the car?
If you will look at a CVR race car, that is the correct way to mount your engine. And I don't know.
You're giving away Chip's secrets here.
Well, I don't know the exact. I don't know what he uses exactly, but I think if I remember right, it's like 5 or 6 degrees to the left and 2 degrees back.
I thought it was 8-degree tilt.
Well, no, I mean, no, but you got to go over and back.
Okay.
I think it's 5 or 6 degrees back or over and like 2 degrees back, which with the car at attitude, the engine's level. Yeah,
that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Is like when your car's.
And he's the only one I know that does that.
Yeah.
So CVR race cars. Want your engine mounted correctly? Look at CVR.
All right. Patrick has another question. He says, I've been reading and trying to understand what the power valve does. I've had 4.5 and 6.5 sizes. Just can't understand what they do and what size to run. He says, sorry about all the questions. Too many beers. And it's the only time I get to think about stuff.
Well, that's all right.
Hey, no worries. Welcome. Otherwise, we'll just find something else to fight about on the show. No.
So like, man, I'm not a carburetor guy. I'm the first to say this. My brother is the carburetor guy.
Yeah.
And then you can also talk to like David Smith or Willie or
Tony
at Stealth, whatever. But like the best of my knowledge, which again, I'm not a carburetor dude. So the power valve like opens at like a certain amount of manifold vacuum, which I mean, that's like, I don't know, however that shit works.
Okay.
So
you know what we need to do is we need to ask your brother, because I almost said ask.
What
we need to ask him. We need to find out the answer. He's not going to come on the show.
Well, no,
Mike doesn't do video.
Well, what we need to do is like you've got your trade show coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to have carburetor guys there or not?
Yeah, Bill Pink will be there. Okay. Your brother's going to be there.
All right, my brother. Who else? Yeah. Is David coming?
Not yet. Call David Smith.
Tell him to get his ass there.
Yeah, Willie's isn't going to make it this year.
All right. So at any rate,
I'm going to drop in the link to the website here too.
But we could have like a carburetor guy there to answer these weird questions.
Oh, that's such a great idea. Yes.
That's what I'm getting. I'm like not a carburetor guy. I'm literally not.
Yeah.
I'm a race car driver who builds engines. Engine wise, I can help you out with. But like carburetor stuff, like my brother is like freaking
on point.
He's on point. Again, David, like, I mean, there's several. I mean, Bill Pink. Yeah. I mean, there's several guys there that can answer that question.
Well, I know Bill.
I can't. I'm sorry.
Willies. Yeah. No. But it's a good question. And if nothing else, it gives us some ideas on what to ask other carburetor builders. And, you know, I'm certainly the one that does these interviews. And a lot of times I'm not really sure what questions to ask, you know, but I want to ask questions. So I'm not just like, tell me about your stuff.
But I mean, it has to do with emulsion bleeds and air bleeds and frickin' jet size and everything else. But
I'm guessing it's a balance. It's much like aerodynamics where you can be really stuck here. But if you gain something here, you're giving up something somewhere else.
Correct.
There's just a lot of balance that happens. Yeah. Otherwise.
And I know what you're running for a power valve has a lot to do with like what you've done to the metering blocks. And I mean, there's all these different variables. And I'm just not the guy to answer the question.
No worries. But
I'm not going to lie to you.
No. Yeah, no worries. And we were just talking about the racing show. So I'm going to drop in the link right here. So carsracingshow.com. And that's where you can get tickets and they're free. We're doing our free tickets right now up through December 6th.
And I think you're probably going to go live there a couple times, right?
Yeah, I'll do a couple of live. We'll
probably do our show maybe early, like on a Friday or a Saturday or something.
Probably, yeah, maybe we'll
do something on Friday. About that.
Yeah, I think we'll probably do something on Friday because it's going to be a slower day,
right?
Anyway, so when you come down and we could do our show on a Friday
get some
afternoon.
Guests on there and stuff.
Yeah, well, there will be that. So it's going to be a combination.
Well, you know what? Like maybe we can like Bernheisel on there on the show and like do some chassis stuff and like talking about.
Sure, certainly.
Because he's going to do a seminar.
Yeah, he's doing a seminar as well. Badass. Yeah, there's going to be a lot going on. I know on Wednesday, which is move-in day, and on Thursday, I'll be shooting a lot of videos.
Right.
Some of them would be for later on, but I will definitely having some live snippets here and there as well.
Oh, yeah. That'd be good.
Because I think that would be, I think it would be a lot of fun to really kind of get that going. What you looking for?
Like a bottle opener.
Oh, here you go.
On the key ring.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And you're welcome.
All right. Alcoholic and shit.
I'm not me. Gosh, as much as I drink on the show is about as much as I drink. I don't really not really a big drinker. You did really. I mean, you just dropped that and you picked it up and decided to open it. That really seemed like a good idea to you.
Did not think it'd be.
Yeah, and then you didn't even do it on camera. That's like fighting in the pits instead of in front of the grandstands. All right.
That's ass.
It's also all over me.
It's all over me.
Oh my God, it's everywhere. Well, that didn't really. I mean, maybe it's because I can't get through the foam.
Yeah, that's ass.
Well, right. I just can't even get through the foam. I mean, you shook it up and. Yeah, that's not even in the same ballpark.
It's not even, yeah.
Yeah, right. I'm just letting everybody know. I didn't actually buy this. Well, yeah. Yeah, just straight up sorry, not sorry.
Sorry about your hair.
So wrong. So wrong. All right, Andy Garris is here from ProFab, and he says,
"Oh my God, there we go."
Heard there will be a party the Thursday before the show. Telling you guys, you want to come to the trade show and you want to get there the day early. So we're moving in on that Thursday, but that Thursday night. So, you know, if you're attending, you won't be able to get in the show Thursday because the show is Friday and Saturday. But come to our pre-show kickoff party at Fresh Chef in Conover, North Carolina, sponsored by Daytona One and Pro Fabrication Headers and Exhaust. We're going to have one hell of a party.
And Andrew, we've been talking a lot about headers tonight.
Yeah.
So make sure you post a link to ProFab.
Oh yeah. Yeah. ProFabrication.com.
Honestly talked a lot about it tonight.
Yeah, we really have. And if you're looking for your contact, I mean, certainly you can call me about headers. And I mean, I don't know how many stocking dealers, but I'm a stocking dealer for ProFab. Love working with them and great products. But any of the questions, especially if I can't answer them, then Andy does.
All right. So here's one thing. I get this a lot. I've had people call me and talk to me on the phone. They're like, "Oh, well, you're only pushing the products that you make money off of, or blah blah blah, or whatever." No, that's not the case. My whole thing is if somebody comes out better, and you can ask Andrew this right now. He's on here. You can ask Andrew this right now. If somebody comes out with a better product than what ProFab has, I'm going to tell you. I ain't pulling no punches. I'm going to say this is a better piece. But right now, the best thing out there is ProFab.
And Jeff's here and he says, that's why I'm here. That's why I follow Steve in your videos. He is honest. Yeah, he's a little extra on this sometimes, but he's definitely honest. Okay, here's a good question, Steve. Jamie says, how many regular Saturday night shows would you put on a 604 before a freshen?
What I recommend to all my customers is that they leak the motor down every 10 races. So buy a leak down tester.
I sell them.
You sell them. Plenty of people sell them.
Yeah.
Just saying. Buy a leak down tester, leak them down every 10 races, because on average, that's when you're going to be changing the springs. So that's a perfect time to leak the motor down. So long as the motor continues to leak down under 12% cold, then I would continue running the engine. Once you're seeing 15, 17, 18%, I'd want to rebuild it.
Good to know.
Good. So there's no amount of lapse. There's no amount of, time. It's usually directly proportional to how well you take care of the engine.
I think that's just a really good timeline, though. And I think this may be the first time we've actually talked about the exact percentage. And that when, being that 12% or below
cold
is good. Well, our video for how to do a leak down is done cold.
Well, and honestly, if you leak it down cold and it's 18%, warm the motor up. And if it's under 8%, then you're probably all right.
Okay. Really good. Really good. And Patrick says, great information. I used your valve spring pressure test system to do my own springs, and it really made a big difference. Thanks for your honesty and stuff like this. I'm so glad that worked out really well for you. That's great. Love our valve spring pressure tester.
Yep.
Love that from LSM.
Thing is badass.
David says, have we tested the Wilds headers?
That's who I was referring to earlier when I was talking about Matt Henderson.
Well, I think an important note here, because I've talked to Terry on the phone before.
And I like Terry.
Talked.
We're friends on Facebook.
Yeah. I think an important distinction is that there's going to be a lot of custom stuff out there. There's going to be a lot of boutique providers of regardless of what kind of parts.
Right.
And when I like running a business like what I run, I can't really just deal with just like the one-offs and the custom stuff. I have to be able to have the availability.
Correct. And I mean, I'm sure Terry's like open stuff is great, but the only thing I can say about Terry, other than he's a good dude. I mean, like we're friends on Facebook.
Nice guy.
1,000%. Really nice guy. He just got hooked up with the wrong engine builder when it comes to crate stuff.
Well, I don't get into politics.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. There we go. There we go. Dell is here. He says, hey, you two. Hey, Dell. Thanks for being part of the show. Cool. Anything exciting coming up this week for you?
Other than working my ass off, no.
Yeah, I'm working a lot too. I am. Oh, by the way, we will not have a podcast next Sunday. Just announcing that.
Because you actually said you're taking like the weekend off.
I am taking the weekend off. I'm taking the weekend off. I know it doesn't seem like
much. Are you like doing Kate things or just like...
I don't know. I probably. Yeah. I haven't booked anything yet, but yeah, this might be Kate doing Kate things.
Kate doing Kate things.
Well, yeah, because we kind of have one thing after another, and I don't see myself getting my head above water until like May of next year. Mm-hmm. So between almost every weekend being booked with something or having a workload that's going to be crazy, I don't see my head getting above water. I need one weekend to just to be off. So that's my plan.
That works.
Otherwise, I generally work, I'm working 6 to 7 days a week, and I've been doing it for several months in a row.
Yeah, it's been.
I don't even know how long.
Crazy.
It's been a lot. Yeah. It's been a lot. I mean, honestly, I think it was. I probably haven't had like really a weekend off since, maybe weekend one of the lockdown.
No, when we went to California, I mean, you had the freaking weekend off. It was like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So like off.
That whole trip is a work trip. So.
Oh, come on now. You're like sitting on the wharf in Santa Cruz eating freaking crabs and shrimps and shit. And that was like work.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we went to races and stuff and yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, I think traveling used to be awesome, but then the way gate agents are, they've just literally sucked all the
fun
out of it.
You're talking like mass Nazis.
Yes. They really sucked the fun out of everything. So yeah, I guess they did sort of have a vacation.
See, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Here's a question. Johnny says, what's the difference in the 603 versus the 604 crate motor?
603's got different heads and different intake manifold. The bottom end is entirely the same. 603 is no longer produced by GM.
Yeah, it's been discontinued a couple of years.
It's
probably 3 or 4
like 5
actually.
Years.
Has it been that long?
Something like that.
Yeah. It was used quite a bit in asphalt until they discontinued it.
It was used in asphalt like a lot around here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the heads and intake manifold on the thing are like piles of shit. So it's really a horrible motor. Bottom end is like the same as 604. Same crank, rods, pistons, cam, everything.
All right. Gotcha. Well, I think that's about all we have for questions for today. So we're good to go. Any other last thoughts, Steve?
Any more 2-barrel questions?
No, because I'm on a different screen now.
Surprisingly. There's no more 2-barrel questions. Are we sure?
No, I'm sure. There's no more 2-barrel questions.
Any single barrel questions?
No, none of those.
Do you know what a 3-barrel is?
I do not.
All right.
I don't know if it even exists. Is that like the jackalope of carburetors? I mean, like I come rolling to Advanced Auto. Hey, my boyfriend sent me to go get a 3-barrel carburetor. Can you help me?
If I send you Advance, it's gonna be to get like a piston return spring and a fucking muffler bearing.
Will they put that in the same basket as my blinker fluid?
Probably will.
There we go. I'll be set up. All righty. Well, I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for being part of the show. And be sure to get your free tickets to the Cars Racing Show, carsracingshow.com. We will be there at that trade show because I can't help but to promote all the things on all the places that I do these things. If you're a podcast listener, check us out at racinginsiderspodcast.com or any of the iTunes or Google Play, wherever you listen to podcasts, and give us a subscribe if you would. You can do the same thing on YouTube or like our page. Crate Insider is our page over on Facebook.
And remember, hashtag Steve's right, Kate's wrong. Don't forget that.
Now, you know what? There might have to be a poll this week about who's right, Kate or Steve. That'd be interesting.
I'd go with that.
That'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to do.
It'd go along with my fantasy football loss, probably. So I'm good with that.
I don't know that you could bear the disappointment.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
Yeah. There we go. Thank you for being here. And we will see you 2 weeks from now. Have a great time.